what do I do when there's family disagreement about taking care of my mom who is in pain, and the hospice nurse wants to give her morphine and my family goes, no, 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 don't do that. What do I do? You know, that is a question that I get so often because we don't understand pain management. The key things you have to know is that taking care of someone at end of life is different than taking care of someone who's going to get better, particularly with pain management. The other thing that we deal with is that we're in a narcotic crisis in our country. And so we think of morphine, we think of narcotics, we think of addiction, we think of overdose, we think of all the bad things that narcotics do and can do. We don't know or think about the positive. And I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of positive that goes with narcotic use also. So let's look at that. Number one, dying is not painful. Disease causes pain. And if a person has a disease history of pain, then you want to treat that pain until their last breath. You don't want someone you care about, let alone even someone you don't care about, to die in pain. And pain management at end of life is how you take care of that. Okay, so narcotic use has to be regulated with end of life pain management. If I have an appendicitis and I go into the hospital and I have the surgery, right after the surgery, they're going to give me a narcotic for the pain, and I'm going to go to sleep. And I will then wake up in a little while. In acute pain, you get your pain shot and you go to sleep because they've really given you more pain medicine than your body needs. It takes time to find a pain management regimen. Let's look at this. In your body, there's a thin line between pain and no pain. And what we want to do in end of life is we want to find this line. If we go beyond the line, the first thing that's going to happen is the person's going to go to sleep. And that's what happens generally in acute care because they have gone beyond the line. They don't have time to find the line. It often takes days to find this line between pain and no pain. But we have things that we look for that say we've gone beyond the line. And the first thing is person goes to sleep. Now that's kind of a catch-22 because they've been in pain and they're probably exhausted. And so they're going to go to sleep, not because they've had too much pain medicine, but because they're exhausted. But then what else happens is they start getting confused. You'll see little green men on the ceiling. You know, they're hallucinating. And then they go to sleep again and their breathing gets slower and slower and slower until they stop breathing. But see all these things we look for that tell us we've exceeded the line? And what do? We cut back and give less morphine the next time, or we stretch it out and we don't give it as often. But the key for end-of-life pain management is to find this line. And what you know is you've got to play with it. Now, all that I've said, I'm going to go back to the original question, and that is, how do you get a family to understand this? You get a family to understand by teaching them what I've just told you about pain management and narcotics. 90% of end-of-life work is education, is teaching. So you sit down with the family and you explain how dying is not painful, disease causes pain. Mom's been in pain this whole time, but now her body's shutting down, nothing's working right, and so the medicine is not being as effective, and we may have to increase the pain medicine as death approaches. All of this you explain to those making decisions so that you've got everyone on the same page. Now, you've explained everything, you've educated, and the family says, nope, we're not going to do this for Mom. And what, as a caregiver, you do is then you step back and say, I'm really sorry that's your decision, but I will support you and we'll do the best we can with the decision that you've made. It's hard for us to teach people and try to get them to understand how to take care of their loved one and then have them disagree with you. But our job is to support the family. It's to educate, and then it's to support in whatever their decisions are.